This video is sponsored by Talkie AI. I said what I said! Bleach fans aren't gonna be happy with this one.
シルビアさん、俺のケツになんか当たってるんですが、当ててんのよ
For that alone, Menace Mask. If you're watching this, because I know you did a video on him, I apologize. Who are the greatest villains of all time? Who is peak villainy? What's good, y'all? It's your boy Westside Live, and I'm here for another one of my grand tier lists. I am back here again to piss off more weeaboos. We're here for a list of villains for all across animes, okay? Forgive me for what I am about to do to some of your favorites, okay? Because of course, you best believe I'll have a hot take. I did not make this, so if your favorite is not in here, that's not on me. Anyways, let's go ahead and start it all off. How we already starting off hot? You're gonna start off with the Naruto Villains. We're gonna start off with the Naruto Villains, okay? Madara. Oh, I wanna put you in peak villainy so bad. You know what? I'm gonna change it just for him. A tier, A for Air Force One villain energy, okay? This is a special one I changed for A tier just for you, Madara. Just for you. These are not quite peak villain. We also like our writing, okay? The writing must be tippity-toppity shaped here. But for the ones that are just that nigga. Aura. Air Force One villain energy. Aura. A for Aura. A for Air Force One's villain energy. Itachi, same ordeal, okay? I've had my tiffs with some things that happen with the Itachi character. If you really look at it, half of it doesn't make sense, but that's just me. That's just me. We're not going to get into a whole ordeal about Itachi's character, okay? But when he was in the original Naruto as a villain, as an antagonist, okay? A for antagonist. A for Air Force One villain energy. A for aura.
You are still too weak. You don't have enough hate. And you know something? You never will.
Itachi was that nigga. And he's gotta be there. He's gotta be there. That's absolutely, indubitably. Hey, are you tired of no friends? Then you should probably go outside more. Do you need someone to talk to? No, this is not a BetterHelp ad. But this video is sponsored by Talkie. Talkie is an AI chat box with over 100,000 characters of different personalities and voice tone. You can talk to your favorite anime characters, or hey, even your favorite video game characters. No, I'm not that person anymore. We're not doing it. Each characters have different dialogues, personalities, preference scenes, and many more. Now, let me talk to this dude, Tengen. What the fuck? Nah, my G. I'm a dude. Sorry, bruh. I don't roll like that. Nah. I just want to know how you get bitches. In a nice way. It's easy. It's a skill I learned over time. Can you teach me your Riz powers? I want 3 wives. Thanks for a second. I guess I could teach you, but first let's have a few drinks. I'm sure nah, you know what? I'm good. I feel harassed. If you're interested in the Talkie AI app, it is indeed free. So check in the link in the description. Thank you, Talkie, for sponsoring this video. Now, back to the video. Okay, if we're gonna have one right before peak villainy, we gotta have one right before trash shoe, okay? Alright. Auraless villain energy. Tell me I had aura misspelled this entire time. What the fuck? Say auraless. I'm sorry. I don't like Obito. I don't like his character. I don't like the fact that he came back. I don't like anything about Obito. I'm not gonna lie. I think everything about Obito is nonsense. So I just think auraless Sasuke. There were some points that he became he was trying to be a terrorist. He was trying to have terrorist energy. I'm gonna put Sasuke in B tier. I do think he had some really good, interesting moments, but at the same time, all throughout Shippuden with these 4 in particular, like I just feel like Kishimoto didn't have an outline plan to work. Kishi knew that he wanted these 4 to be the core kind of go with. But I feel like he had a issue kind of deciding who he wanted his main villain to be. I feel like Sasuke should have just been the main villain. At the point that he killed Itachi, I feel like at that point, Sasuke, he should have just stuck with Sasuke. Sasuke should have been the main baddie. No diddy. Orochimaru, okay? I want to put him in peak villain. He's so bad! So bad! I can't though. And the reason why I can't is because the longer that Naruto went on, the more they ruined some of these characters. And Orochimaru is one of those characters. I'm gonna say Air Force One villain energy just for the original Orochimaru. Okay, Orochimaru was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Peak Orochimaru is the most terrifying villain in all of Shonen. Pain! Peak!
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
What about my family? My village? My boy was just a quotable, okay? He was just filled with quotes, okay? He was just filled with a bunch of quotes, okay? Pain, peak tier villain. I don't think anybody denies that. Man, Naruto has some bang, except for this one. Okay, the one sticking out. Man, Naruto has some peak villains. Man, did they absolutely ruin it in the end. Kaguya, trash show! I think when it comes to Kaguya, you was always going to do Boruto. I felt like you should have saved that for Boruto. And that's kind of like the issue with Boruto right now. It just feels like, where do we go from here? You didn't build them up very well. You should have just saved them up for Boruto or something like that. I wish I could just rewrite half of Naruto Shippuden. Orochimaru's little piss boy. I liked him somewhat in Naruto. I thought he had some aura to him. But as the show went on, he just became a mid-villain to me. Like, I just stopped caring at some point in Shippuden. How it's like when Orochimaru got beat, it's just like his whole entire character just sank with it. Danzo, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't really care for Danzo. Because of what he means to Naruto in the writing of it, I will put him in B. Just for like objectivity's sake. This nigga didn't care. Sorry. Where's Gaara? Gaara's not here! Sheesh! I would have put Air Force One villain energy if Gaara was here. Absolutely. Indubitably. I don't know why he's not here. He was a cool villain. I'll put him in B. One Piece villains. Don't care. Mid. Buggy. I love Buggy as a character. As a villain, mid. As a character, great. As a villain, don't give a shit. He was B. I think the one thing about like One Piece villains, there's not really much to say about One Piece villains. All of them are kind of like the same. They're kind of just motivations. Just feel all too similar. Yeah, like for me, B. Like, it's not much to me to say. Like, they all just feel like, they just all feel kind of like B-ish to me. Like, none of them really move the needle for me, but all of them, I will at least say that they're cool. They're not like bad villains. I mean, she's an antagonist at one point, but she's not really, I would say, not really a villain. Okay, now this nigga, Akanu, I never knew how to say his name. I watched the dub, sorry. Akanu, I'm sure I'm butchering the fuck out of his name right now. Air Force One energy. Okay, when we got to his arc, that's when One Piece really started like picking up in villains. Once we got to the Summit War Saga, once we got the Marine Ford, that's when you really started to see layers, in my opinion, when it came to these villains in One Piece. Like Doflamingo, in my opinion, now that I think about it, is Doflamingo a peak villain? I'm gonna do it. Peak!
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Yeah, I think Doflamingo gotta be peak villainy. Okay, I think that's, yeah, right when we got here, that's when these villains, Oda started really looking into the layers of way he was writing these villains. Big Mom, I think Big Mom is around B. She doesn't move the needle for me to put her in Air Force One. Nah, B. Katakuri, once again, B. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of there's a lot of villains in One Piece, man. Dragon Ball! Air Force One. Like, that's obvious. That's obvious. I can't put Frieza in peak villainy just because of his icon status. I'm not gonna do that. But Air Force One, like, Frieza is the Hitler of anime villains. Like, you have to put him in Air Force One villain energy. You got to put him in there. What he did through the Frieza saga shall never be forgotten. He is the bar when it comes to what villains need to meet to truly be in that upper echelon tier villainy. Frieza set the bar. In my opinion, because I think this is a controversial one, but I'm just gonna say it. Cell is peak villainy. Peak! Perfect. But the thing about Cell is he represented everything that needed to be represented in Dragon Ball at the time. Perfect arc. One of the best arcs in anime. Once again, another bar to be climbed. Because if you ask me, I think I said this before, I prefer Cell over Frieza in terms of villains. I just think he's the perfect villain.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Okay, Piccolo was indeed the villain. But it's not King Piccolo, it's just Piccolo. I'm just gonna add King Piccolo and Piccolo kind of together, so I'm just gonna say B if you just take them both. I don't think Piccolo or King Piccolo are like the greatest villains in the world. Beerus, not really a villain, but I guess if you want to go by Battle of Gods, he worked for Battle of Gods, so I'm gonna say B. Boo! Air Force Ones, nigga! No, I gotta go a little bit further. Because I'm guessing we're counting all the boos, and if you count all the boos, yeah, I gotta go a little further. A+! Absolute menace to society, okay? Absolute menace. I gotta put him there. All right, Vegeta for when he was a villain. Air Force One energy. I mean, the things that Vegeta was doing. All right, we seem to forget because he's a good guy now, but that nigga was on demon time. That nigga was on, Vegeta was on demon time, y'all. Broly, this is Super Broly. I don't think they included Z Broly, but I'm just gonna go with Broly. Just like I'm just gonna go with Piccolo, so I'm gonna go. This is Broly. I want to put him in Air Force One energy so bad because he does have that energy, but I also gotta include the writing because this is still A tier. No, fuck that! Absolute menace, nigga! Absolute menace, nigga! Okay, I can't do that. All right, I gotta be a little objective. All right, I think Broly's. If you ask me, like, in terms of his writing, you count all the Brolys, it takes it away. But if you just count his energy and what he did as a villain, I want to put him up here. I'm a meet him. So I do think writing does matter. Yeah, you got Super Broly, but Super Broly, I don't know, wasn't even that much of a villain. He's more of like just an antagonist. And then if you count all of Z Broly, it did have issues. So I'm just gonna say B overall. Black Goku. You also gotta count Zamasu with Black Goku. That's kind of the problem with Black Goku. If you're talking about this when Black Goku first came, Air Force One, obviously. But if you gotta take in the writing into account. If you take in what Zamasu as a character, drag that nigga down to the grave. Okay, so I'm gonna have to say mid villainy. Shigaraki! So far for what I'm seeing from Shigaraki, it's really, really good. I've seen enough to put him in Air Force One there. He's a really good villain. He's a really good villain. One of the only good things that are happening in My Hero right now, honestly. All for One, mid villain. Like, he came and he went for me. The little girl that wants Deku's blood, at first I liked her, but after a while I kind of stopped caring about her character. Like, I feel like all these characters at some point kind of I just stopped caring about them. But it's not like they're not bad. They're not bad. I feel like it's not like some One Piece villain stuff, so I'm gonna put these two in B, and then all these extra niggas mid. Oh, Stain. Yeah, Stain Air Force One. He went the fact that he came and made an impact like he did with little to no scenes, definitely Air Force One villain energy. Bakugo's dad in my fan fiction. I can't believe like he really made him look like Bakugo and didn't take a chance to like say, oh, this is like Bakugo's dad or something. That would have made him way more interesting. Like, he came and he went, like, nobody cares about him anymore, like mid-villain. I forgot this nigga's name, which just kind of automatically makes me want to put you in mid-villain. The dude from the movie, mid-villain. Don't care about these things. Yeah, like I don't know. My Hero has a lot of duds when it comes to their villains. I ain't gonna lie. They do have a couple of good ones to where I'm like, okay. But like, I guess if you compare them to like, you know, even One Piece or Dragon Ball or Naruto, like it's definitely a lesser tier. Demon Slayer villains! Now, I have finished the Demon Slayer manga. I mean, like, who doesn't know about the Demon Slayer ending at this point? Like, the fact that, like, the Demon Slayer anime and manga are, like, that far apart actually is kind of crazy. Michael Jackson. It is hard to rank him in terms of villains because he does have that aura. But at the same time, he really didn't do much. And like, he is kind of in between mid and B, but that ending was just so to be a big villain. I don't think I've ever seen a big villain that was hyped up like he was hyped up and be that mid. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that, like, to that degree, because his hype was there. His hype was there. That's undeniable. And it didn't reach that peak. In fact, there was a couple other villains I feel like were much better throughout the series that for some reason are not on that tier list. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That little dude and the dude that grown up, Tanjiro, the fact that he kind of looks like he could be his dad. Like, both of them were much more effective antagonists than Muzan. But it is what it is. But for some reason, we got these niggas. They're all kind of mid, except I would say except for these two. These two were B. They were effective. They were good. I like their backstory. Aizen! Bleach fans aren't gonna be happy with this one. Wait a minute, they got this nigga, but there's no Grimmjow? At least I don't see Grimmjow. They don't got no Grimmjow? Really? Grimmjow is the best villain in Bleach. I said what I said! I know Bleach fans are like, where are you going to do? What are you about to do to us? So listen. I say y'all aren't going to be happy with me, not because I am going to bully Bleach today, okay? I'm not about to do that, all right? Even though I love it's my favorite hobby, all right? I just don't see Aizen the way I think majority of Bleach fans see Aizen in peak villainy. He is going in Air Force One villain energy, okay? So I think that is a great placement. He is A tier. He is among the best villains. But I do have my critique about Aizen. I don't like it, but I feel like Aizen, for too much of the story and the way it is almost the same criticism I have with Muzan. For too much of the story in the arcs he was in, he was kind of sit back, and I like villains that are all about that action, boss. Okay? I don't like the villains that don't engage in their own plans, in their own villainy. And that's kind of how I felt about Aizen. Like, he fought at the end with Ichigo, but even for that, I just kind of felt, I don't know, it just kind of felt flat to me, to be honest. Even when he finally, like, engaged with everything, it kind of felt flat, in my opinion. He had that big plot twist, which was an amazing plot twist. And then he sat back for like an entire arc, and then it was kind of finally time for him to step up. And I didn't feel like the fight between him and Ichigo really lived up to the potential that I wanted, that I was looking for it to be. It didn't feel like Goku versus Frieza. It didn't feel like even Luffy versus Doflamingo. It didn't reach that peak for me personally. Okay, it didn't reach Naruto versus Pain. All right, to this grandiose hype, to the final fight between the main character and this main villain. And I just felt like in certain times Aizen just felt flat. These are criticisms, okay? I do have good stuff to say about Aizen too. Menacing energy. Like I said, the plot twist is great, the design is great, the voice acting in both the sub and dub is great. He has Air Force energy. He has that aura, okay? He is that nigga, okay? He definitely deserves to be an A tier, okay? I just have criticisms why I wouldn't put him in peak villainy. And okay, I'm sorry, I should put Kid Buu down, okay? He's an absolute menace, but I shouldn't have him. I shouldn't have him over these guys, okay? I don't think Buu as a whole is better than these people, okay? So if anybody's about to like correct me, but like, you really think Boo is better than I don't, okay? I do think Boo is probably better than all these people. That's my criticism of Aizen. Trust me. I have a way more controversial opinion on another villain that's on this list that everybody thinks he's a peak villain. And yeah, people are gonna be upset with me with that one. I am not even about to pronounce his name. All right, all I know is Grimmjow is better than him. I guess he was cool. I guess I would say kind of B tier. Everything for Sword Art Online is garbage. Aurelus, Trashu, Mega Trashu. It's peak garbage. Peak fuckery. Like, every time I think of Sword Art Online, spit it out. Shinji's dad and Evangelion. I really don't know how I feel about Shinji's dad. From time to time, he's not really a character I think about all that too often, or something I'm focusing on, except for the memes of him being a terrible dad. Of course, he's kind of like the main push forward to the apocalypse, so of course, yeah, he would be considered as a villain. I just don't think he pushed the needle forward to me all that much, so I'm going to go around B tier. Like, he's not somebody that I was really focused on, except for him being a bad dad, but you know. The Jason Cloud. Wasn't his name actually Jason in Tokyo Ghoul? I don't remember, but that nigga was a menace. I ain't gonna lie. I'll put him in that. I'll put him in absolute menace. Menace! That nigga was sick. Eren Yeager. Eren, once again, it's kind of hard because he wasn't a villain. I mean, he was a villain. He's not an antagonist. He was a villain at some point. But then they kind of revealed that no, he wasn't a villain. So I'm just going to go by his villain stages. As a character, he is a peak character. Him just being a villain, I think I'm going to go Air Force One villain energy. Yeah, I'm going to go Air Force One villain energy. Energy, dog. It was crazy. Annie, absolute menace when she was a villain. Absolute menace. When Annie came into the scene, it still was some of the most craziest stuff. And yeah, I enjoyed that character. I don't see Reiner, anybody else, or Aaron's brother, but hey, it is what it is. Sylvia!
だって私半分は男ですもの。今なんてシルビアさん俺のケツになんか当たってるんですが当ててんのよ。
For that alone, absolute. For that alone, menace. Menace. Dio! Come on, man. Come on, nigga. Come on. He was breeded in it. Molded by it. Yeah. Poochie! Man trying to actually end the world. I'm gonna put him in absolute menace. I think I prefer Dio a little bit more, but I gotta be menace. Kira, oof. I think Kira's better than Poochie. I don't think I got Kira in A tier. I don't think. You know what? I need to move him down because I don't think he's better than these villains. Kira to me is like a standard that you have to pass to get into A tier, but I don't think I will put Kira A tier. I know that's crazy. I know every Part 4 fan is screaming at me that I have him high, okay? I just don't think he was the greatest thing ever, okay? He's meme-worthy. He was interesting. He had aura. He's a good villain. But I don't be slurping Kira like all of y'all be slurping, okay? That's just me personally, nigga. That's just me personally. Oh, what's this dude's name? He was in Part 5. The fact that I can't remember is not a good start. He was a good villain. Yeah, Diablo. I just couldn't remember. He had a weird... I think he had a good start, but it kind of turned weird. I didn't like the fact that he started off so interesting, and then they kind of turned him into like a regular villain that we expect from JoJo. B tier. Cars! Absolute menace! Menace energy, nigga. Okay, I love JoJo. I love it. If y'all didn't know this, okay. If some of y'all didn't know this, I love JoJo Part 2. Father! Is Father a peak villain? Oof, I actually did not think of Father. Know what? I don't have him as a peak villain. And it's not because he's not close. I have him Air Force. I have A tier Air Force 1 villain energy. He's close. He's close. But I actually have someone in Brotherhood in mind who I would put in peak villain. Air Force One energy. Oh my gosh, I think Brotherhood is about to tear up this list. B tier, A tier. No, Absolute Menace. No, not A tier. Absolute Menace. Mid. That was the only mid one. King Bradley. Air Force One. Air Force One. Air Force One. A tier. A tier. Brotherhood is tearing. Oh my gosh, Brotherhood. I'm not even the biggest Brotherhood fan, but the one thing I will say that made Brotherhood so legit is the fact that it had the best villains. And maybe this is controversial. I don't know. I don't know how people feel about all the Brotherhood villains, but this is me personally. I thought Envy was the best villain. He was peak villainy. Okay, I thought in terms of like writing. You know what? I'm putting both of them in peak villainy. I think they're both up there in peak villainy. I think they are peak villains. I think Brotherhood had the best antagonists you could possibly hope for anime.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Pride? I don't think I liked Pride all that much. Yeah, I remember being kind of, because I was excited about Pride's character, considering he was like a kid. But in fact, Pride actually was the only one out of Brotherhood that kind of disappointed me as like a villain. I just didn't feel it from the character. I just didn't like, it was exciting at first, but I just felt like Pride didn't amount to much. It took this nigga one episode. It took him one episode to reach peak villainy. I have never seen such speed running through peak, just peakness. Okay, obviously, do I think he's like a better villain than everybody here? Not necessarily, but it's kind of one of those things where you're not really thinking about comparing him to anybody. You're thinking about, well, at least I'm thinking about within the time frame that he had, what did he do? And he was the most effective through one episode I think you possibly could have gotten. And it was just peak. For the episode was peak, one of the best episodes in the franchise, one of the saddest episodes in anime history for what he did, peak villainy. Okay, he is a villain. He is the villain. Team Rocket. Team Rocket is one of those things where it's obviously meant to be goofy. They're not very effective in terms of stopping or being a villain. But that's also kind of the part of the joke, and it kind of makes their writing even more endearing. The only reason why I wouldn't put them higher than B is simply the fact that they ran on too long. It was just too long. Too long. To the point that, okay, we got that they was like, it's meant to be a joke and kind of seeing their development of kind of not necessarily becoming good guys, but becoming more endearing and more characters that you care about. But it just came to the point where it's like they just overstate their welcome, because Pokemon in general overstate its welcome. Light Yagami! Peak!
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Peak villainy. I think Light Yagami is so far the best villain on this list. It was just such a great ride to follow his journey all the way to the end. I personally love the ending of the Death Note anime. I personally think it's better than the manga. I liked what it did. That's just me personally. Lelouch's father, effective for B, didn't do a whole lot, but he was effective for Lelouch's character, so I was to say he's like a B tier villain. What is his name? I believe his name is, how you smell it, Bondarude? From what I've seen, and I know my boy Mast had put out a villain video on him, so if you want to watch that, definitely go check that out, because I have not watched all of it Made in Abyss, and I've not read it, because I think I also want to read it too. But from what I've seen from him, absolute menace. For what I'm hearing from the grapevine, like I'm hearing that he's like on Griffith levels. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, get back in Made in Abyss anyway. Let me know in the comment section. Speaking of Griffith! Like, the GOAT of villains, okay? Probably one of the, not just best villains, one of the best written characters in all of media. I'm not on the Griffith didn't do no wrong train, okay? I'm just saying in terms of writing, perfect. Him and Guts, in reality. Just both great characters. I have him GOAT status, and yeah. In my opinion, the greatest villain in anime manga history. As death, mid villain. Sorry, Mask. Oh boy from Bungo Stray Dogs. I don't even remember this dude's name. I don't know if he gets any better. I don't know if he still continues in the series. I just know from what I've watched from Bungo Stray Dogs, I'm pretty sure there's like 5 or maybe even 6 seasons now. But I'm just going off of, I think I've seen 2 seasons. Mid. Just, I like his aesthetic. And it's not even exactly him. It's just Bungo Stray Dogs is just such a drag right now. I heard it continues to get better. There's certain things I like about it, but I have to like continue because like the first 2 seasons that I've seen from it, I can kind of see why Bungo Stray Dogs never really got like super duper popular. It ain't it right now. The mom in Kill La Kill. I remember, I'm gonna say B for effective. Kind of like Lelouch's dad. Yeah, they're kind of like the same to me. They're kind of the same character. She was annoying. Mid-villain. Don't care. Satsuki Kirin really wasn't a villain, more of an antagonist. And as an antagonist, effective antagonist, great character. But this is a villain tier list. I wouldn't say she was like an all-time great villain or anything, but it is a great character. I'm putting her in B for the villain. Boros. It's kind of interesting how many people like this character for a character that technically doesn't do much. I do think he's an effective one-off episode type villain to see the peak of the main character. Same thing with the fish dude. They had effective episodes. You know, Gasai. I know that the show that she's in isn't the greatest. It's entertaining, but it isn't the greatest. In terms of her character, I think, me personally, she's a peak villain. I do. I think she's a peak villain. Yep, I said it. You know Gasai, everybody, is a peak villain, okay?
It was perfect. Perfect.
Her as a character, she is the Yandere Queen. She is, in my opinion, she has one of the greatest plot twists in anime history. I know that's a crazy thing to say, but it is kind of true, at least for me. I didn't see it coming. All right, that plot twist blew me away. Okay, so as far as what she did, in my opinion, she's a peak villain. I said what I said. Old girl from Higurashi, technically she wasn't the I'm not going to get into the details of Higurashi. I'm going to say B. B for the show itself, technically, not necessarily for the character, because like it's kind of weird how they do the villain role in the show, but overall how they execute it, I would say around a B. Oh boy from Akira, absolute menace. I think that's an easy one to put. If you haven't watched Akira or read Akira, because the manga is very good too, I would suggest you watch it. Askeladd, it's kind of interesting with his character because I don't necessarily look at him as a villain. He's an antagonist. I look at him as more as an anti-hero. So I'll count it. I'm going to put him in Air Force One villain energy. That's clear as day where to put him in. Okay, I wouldn't quite put him in peak villainy because I don't even see him as a villain to begin with. So that's just me personally. Johan! Mask. If you're watching this, because I know you did a video on him, I apologize for what I'm about to do. And I apologize to everybody who actually watched or read Monster. Some of y'all think I'm joking, but I'm dead ass. He's B tier. Start the dislikes! Start the dislikes! I'm not even saying it to have some type of... Hey, everything I say, okay, is not to trigger y'all. Everything I say has substance, okay? There's a reason to the madness. There's a reason to how these clogs spin in my head, okay, and what I'm processing. Johan is a decent villain. I know that's around Johan's character is a sin amongst the anime and manga community. Listen, dude, what did I just say about Aizen? I don't like, and especially for him, I don't like. Because it's an extra added layer for Johan, because at least for Aizen they showed it. I don't like when one character sit back and allow so many other characters do stuff for them. And what I especially don't like in writing, this writing, I wouldn't say pisses me off, but it irks me a little bit. Because I just feel like it's too, I don't like it. When a character is in the back, when a villain's in the background, and something happens, and the villain comes out of nowhere and just kind of takes credit and then disappears again, and they don't even show like bit by bit how they even came to forge out their plan. I don't like that. I don't like when a villain will come in and they said, oh, this villain right here, Johan, for instance, Johan started this, that, and that, and they never showed us how he started this, that, and that. They're just like, oh, he did it, and so he's brilliant. He's brilliant. Oh, he got one over the main character again, because he's just so brilliant. They don't show us how he did it around, or they don't mention his name until it's like finally time to mention his name. He doing stuff in the background, but you're not even sure. At least for Aizen, they showed his stuff, the process of Aizen's thought process of what he's doing in the background to come in fruition for his plans. For Johan, for much of 90% of Johan's character, they didn't do none of that. It was just like, oh, he devised this plan. Don't know how, but he did it, and that makes him a genius. Okay. Oh, look how stoic he is. Look how just his demeanor is. And I get it. His aesthetic is wonderful. Okay. He just comes off. He just has that villain look. Okay. And he has moments in this show that I regard very highly from Johan. I truly do. But the ending, in my opinion, was weird. Okay, you can call me, oh, you just don't get it all you want. Okay, I thought it was insufficient. Okay, like I just said, for my criticisms for Johan, he is not a peak villain to me. Okay, that's my biggest controversial. See, Aizen fans, you should be honored. All right, I'll put him all the way up here in A tier. Okay, I got. You're not just A tier, you're an A+ tier, okay? That's still one of the greats, all right? I got Johan in B tier, which I still think is a good tier. That makes Johan a good villain, in my opinion. He's a good villain, okay? He's an effective villain, okay? He does have that icon status. I'll give him that. He does have moments in the show where I'm like, oh, shit. But there's just certain, maybe if I had a B+, okay? Because I kind of consider this like A-, maybe B+, I don't know. You know what? I'll do this. Absolute Menace. There, you see, okay? He's in that B+, A- category. He's still a really good villain. I just have my tiffs of the things he was written, okay? So I take it back. Johan is an absolute menace. I know so many people are just screaming in the comments at me that actually watch Monster, because it depends on how many people actually watch this show, because it is a pretty lengthy show and it's pretty slow. But it is a good show, so if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. The little cat thing from Madoka Magica, the fucking cat was an absolute menace, okay? That cat was scary! Boy, let me tell you, okay? There was just something just eerie about this character, truly. Madoka Magica in general is an eerie show, but yo, wait, boy! Play that! Ooh, play that Spanish again.
Se siente mayor placer cuanto más se entienda y conozca. Es complicado comprender los sentimientos.
That thing from, I don't remember what this, the spinner something Gurren Lagann. I think this villain was really mid. I don't think this villain gets criticized enough of how mid it is as a villain. And I think that's one of my main criticisms of Gurren Lagann, is the fact that I would say its villains, in my opinion, aren't very effective. Oh boy from Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, he was B effective. Yeah, he was effective. He really wasn't all that in the first half. He was just kind of standing back, but he did come in the second half, and I would say he was pretty effective. He wasn't like great or anything. Kiri, I don't think he's good as old boy from Fate Zero. I think he is probably, I will put an absolute, yeah, I'm gonna say absolute menace. Yeah, he's around there. He's a step above. Oh boy, Vicious! Now, I do like Vicious, and I do think Vicious belongs to Absolute Menace. I do think a lot of people will probably put him higher than I would. The Dr. Stone, old dude, he was okay. He was B tier. It was okay. Like, Dr. Stone, B tier for an okay show in Dr. Stone. Everything about Fire Force, just mid. I was interested in the brother character, and they kind of dropped the ball with it, and that was like one of the only things I was interested in Fire Force about, and Fire Force is just an overall uninteresting show. The Gintama Villains! For the people who rarely, because I know not a lot of people have seen Gintama, at least not on this channel. His caretaker, I will say, was around a B. I'm not gonna go into full what I had a problem with, but there were some criticisms I had of his character. Takasugi, absolute menace. If he was more involved in the show, I would have put him in Air Force One villain energy, but it was kind of like Gintama is technically a comedy anime, so it's not, the focus is not really on that, and Takasugi is actually one of the only characters in the show that does not joke around. He does not play around. But that also makes him even more effective villain. If anything, he's a better version of Sasuke. These are just his minion guys. He was cool. She was mid. Oh, dude, or her brother, the girl's brother. I can't remember his name. He was effective. He has a really cool aesthetic. Sukuna! So far for what I've seen, he's around a B. Mind you. Okay. Jujutsu Kaisen keeps trending for stuff it does in the manga. I've done my best to try to avoid all that hoopla. Okay. I would say Sukuna for me right now would be around the first 2 seasons of the anime, B. Geto, right, same thing, around B. Alright, like Jujutsu Kaisen from the anime, still building up. Oh, I hate this nigga. Oh, I hate this nigga so much, but I have to give him credit. Mahito, I think, has to be an absolute menace. I do. I think he has, although they didn't let him go as far as what Frieza goes, but I haven't felt that way about a villain in a very long time. There's not a lot of villains. I don't really hate villains, because villains are meant to be villains. That's the whole point of a villain. But if you can make me hate you as a villain, but at the same time be like, yeah, he's a villain. And I'm not on some annoying shit, but on some like, beat his ass. He definitely Mahito. And if he would have gone longer, I would have put him in Air Force One villain energy. No one's made me feel like that since Frieza. Like, Frieza's the only one where I'm like, he was an effective villain. But man, I want him to get his fucking ass whooped. Like that. I think maybe Orochimaru too. But yeah, not a lot of villains get me to like absolutely hate them and want to see them get stomped into the ground. Oh wait, no, Zamasu is here. Oh, maybe I need to change the Goku Black thing. You know what? I'm gonna change Goku Black to B because I didn't know Zamasu's right here. Okay, Zamasu. Wait, if that's Zamasu by himself, then I would say trash shoe. Yeah, because if we're talking about Goku Black by himself and Zamasu by himself, Goku Black, okay, I would say he's around a B. Trash shoe! Oh, boy from Demon Slayer is here. Okay, I guess I did miss him. B. I feel like every Demon Slayer kind of character kind of end up in B at best. Mob's inner psychological thing that he had going on was cool at first. You need to tell me I had aura misspelled this entire time. What the fuck? Whatever, bro. I guess it was kind of cool. I'll put it in B, I guess. But I will say, like I've said this before, I have some criticism about how the ending of Mob Psycho went. I know a lot of people like it. Me personally, I'm like, I'm kind of iffy on it. Once again, like Mob, the villain Mob season 2, kind of B-ish. Didn't really amount to too much, and I feel like kind of disappointing ending. But he did have some cool moments. He was kind of cool. The Nazi nigga at Hell's for just being a freaking Nazi. That's absolute menace right there. Hisoka. I mean, we know. Air Force energy. We know. Freaky ass nigga, 69 guy. Crollo. The manga, I probably would have been around B. But because I also know what happens a little bit in the manga with this character, I will say absolute menace. You'll just have to read the manga if you haven't, if you don't know. Oh shit, Miriam. Oh no! Oh no! I do think Miriam could compete with Griffith in light. Nah, it's still Griffith. Griffith still got it. But Miriam, I think, is this my top 10 villains right here? I would say, yeah, these probably are my top 10 villains. I'll keep that. I'd keep that. Wait, no, these are not my top 10 villains because I would have, because I know I was missing someone. I would have Toguro over these 3, actually these 4. So really, because I don't see Toguro here. Oh boy, what is that? What, Sensui, whatever the fuck his name is here. How you not have Toguro? You don't got Toguro? Toguro the GOAT. Okay, Toguro is in my top 5, actually. He actually might be in my top 3. Sensui, I think he was B. I didn't like the ending to Sensui. He started off really cool. Didn't end off on a great note, in my opinion. Killua's brother hasn't done much since the beginning of Hunter x Hunter. But for what he was for his effectiveness, I'll put him in B. This little fucking cat. Gon versus Pito, one of the most unexpected like parts of Hunter x Hunter was how menacing this villain was. Not only that, I would say is in Black Air Force 1 energy. She, or maybe like he, because I think because they're like ants or something, they were like all he's. I don't know. I just look like a she. I'm just say she. She was one of the most menacing. Yeah, Air Force 1 villain energy. Ugh, that poof nigga. Ugh. Kind of like her. Really annoying, but I will at least say he's maybe a tier above that. But man, poof, that was one annoying ass nigga, bro. Didn't care. Orless. The Mom and Promise Neverland, very effective, very effective. I'm not gonna go and say, you know, I would put her absolute menace. Yeah, she was a menace. I gotta give her that. He was a menace, definitely. Oh, you know my nigga Egghead for Sonic X. You know he gotta be at least absolute menace. We know that. Oh, now we got into the fairy tale villains. Okay. Natsu's brother, he was okay. I actually feel like the villains in fairy tale weren't like the worst thing in the world. He was kind of mid. He was built up to be like Madara, but he really wasn't. Okay, you could tell like the author was thinking, yeah, I'm about to make my Madara. Yeah, I'm about to make my come up now. One of the earlier villains, kind of Urza's love interest kind of guy. Like he was decent too. Like they were both like decent villains. Like Fairy Tail has some, as much as criticism, as much as I dislike Fairy Tail, it has some decent villains. This is Urza's mother, right? Putting her on B because she bad. She was bad, though! She was bad! Is this the Goosh Goosh, nigga? It is the Goosh Goosh, nigga. I don't want to talk about it, okay? If you don't know it, don't. Just don't. Moving on. Lelouch. I guess Lelouch is a villain. Lelouch is one of the best characters in all of anime. But I don't know if I consider him also one of those guys. Would I say he's a villain though? I don't know. I guess as in terms of being a villain, I guess I would say absolute menace. It would be kind of hard for me not to, considering how much I love the character. But like I said, I don't know. I would say he's a villain. Like that anti-hero, yes. Shishio, everything a villain needs to be. Okay, one of those gold standards. Air Force energy villains. Okay, if you talk about this, the gold standard to me. Old boy from Inuyasha's brother. I think he started off really cool. He had the aura, and he fumbled it. So mid villain. Throw him in there too. Panda thing from Danganronpa or something. That's a very interesting case because the show is trash. I keep hearing that the game is a fantastic. I would say the bear thing was funny, especially if you watch it in dub. So I'll put him in B, and he was a good antagonist for the characters. I'm not going to say who this is, okay, but this is also part of the show. Trash Shoe. One of the worst endings I've ever seen in anything. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. More Bungo Stray Dog characters. Orless. Another Sasuke clone, or if you want to say Hiei clone. I guess B tier. Like I said, Bungo Stray Dog's got to pick it up. It got to pick it up, man. Like I said, Bungo Stray Dog's got to pick it up. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe I'll see what other people are saying. But right now, Shield Hero Girl, trash you. Not because of the reason that people hate her, okay? I think I've said this before. I hate Shield Hero. Can I just put them all in mid? I'm sorry. I know. There's nothing to really write home about Black Clover villains. This guy, I guess, was like B. This guy was mid. I don't even remember who she is. Orless. I think she had something to do with one of the people in the Black Bulls, and I think there was like that witch arc or something. The demon guy, mid. Has some aura to it. Has a creepy ass face, but I ain't care. I know I'm getting like flack from Black Clover. I'm getting flack by probably a lot of series right now. Auraless. Not Auraless. He was cool. Okay. Should I put him in absolute? Yeah, I'm putting him. He was a menace. Okay, I get it. I'm fair. Okay, yeah, he was absolute menace. That Dante nigga was a menace. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. It's not clicking. I don't know where to pull him now. Yeah, there's so many villains. I'm gonna say mid for now because I don't remember. He was B tier. Or no, I say mid. To be fair, Black Clover fans, Hitman Reborn ain't no better. I would say he at least somewhat was B tier because he had moments. But these two are mid. Yeah, they were about mid. And yeah, that is the list. Okay, and that's it. Anyways, y'all, if y'all like this video, this is actually one of my longer tier lists. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, sub, share, comment, like. Y'all know what to do. Okay, peace of two fingers.